Yeah, he's a specimen. He's,
Yeah, he's a specimen in a bombshell lawsuit. Cassie alleges the Bad Boy Records music mogul physically and her throughout their 10-year relationship, which began when she was 19 years old and he was 37. In court documents, Ventura says during their relationship she was often punched, beat, kicked, and stomped on by Combs, claiming he forced her to engage in acts with male workers. Cassie's husband is speaking out after Cassie filed a shocking lawsuit against her ex-boyfriend, Diddy, alleging yet hours of physical torture, say trafficking, and more. Cassie is suing Diddy in federal court, and her lawsuit is so disturbing that it actually has a trigger warning on the front page because it includes highly graphic information of a nature including, say, Cassie broke up with Diddy in 2018. However, Diddy allegedly made her sign an NDA, which is why she stayed completely silent on their relationship for the past 5 years. However, it looks like the NDA expired, and although Diddy reportedly offered Cassie Lyons not to file the lawsuit, she made it clear this is not about money, and she wants to see Diddy brought to justice. And now Cassie's husband, Alex Fine, who is credited with helping her escape from Diddy, is speaking out on just how traumatized Cassie was by Diddy's depraved acts. A suit, which was filed in federal district court in Manhattan, alleges during that relationship Combs would force Cassie to have with male pro while he watched and filmed the singer. ALSO claims he would control her way, beatings, and drugs shortly after they met when she was just 19 years old. As you probably know, Diddy's reputation has been hanging on by a thread for years now, and Cassie isn't the only person who's made disturbing allegations against him. Diddy is alleged to have been involved in the deaths of multiple people, including his ex-girlfriend, Kim Porter, Kim's ex-boyfriend, Shakir Stewart, and rappers Tupac Shakur and Biggie. He was also previously accused by his ex-girlfriend, Virginia, of stomping on our stomach when she was pregnant, causing in her to lose the baby. And then more recent allegations surface that Diddy may have groomed his teenage protégés Usher and Justin Bieber. And now that Cassie filed an explosive lawsuit against Diddy that includes allegations of sexual and trafficking, fans are saying this is the beginning of the end for Shay Diddy Combs, and he's going to get the E.R. Kelly treatment. On Thursday, November 16, that the New York Times broke the news that Cassie filed a suit against Diddy in the federal district court in Manhattan, and she made a series of allegations that are so disturbing that the court put a trigger warning on the front page of her lawsuit. According to the Times, Cassie filed her lawsuit under New York's Adult Survivors Act, which allows individuals to file lawsuits even after the expiration of the statute of limitations. Cassie's lawsuit is 35 pages long, and it details a number of horrific incidents that took place throughout her relationship with Diddy. The document begins by highlighting Diddy's acceptance speech at the 2022 BET Awards when he shouted out Cassie for holding him down in dark times. Also, Cassie for holding me down in the dark times, love. At that time, most people thought Diddy was just corny for shouting out Cassie, since she was already married to Alex Fine and had 2 children. However, this shout-out sounds more like a threat, and Cassie's lawsuit states that the truth is that Cassie was held down by Mr. Combs and endured over a decade of his violent behavior and disturbed. Demands the lawsuit then goes on to list a number of disturbing acts, and Cassie claims that Diddy essayed her in her home after she tried to leave him, often punched, beat, kicked, and stomped on her, blew up a man's car after he learned that he was romantically interested and forced her to engage in sex acts with male sex workers, ran out of his apartment with a firearm in pursuit of a rival industry executive, demanded that Cassie carry his firearm in her purse just to make her uncomfortable and demonstrate how dangerous he is, introduced her to a lifestyle of excessive alcohol and substance, and demanded that she procure illicit prescriptions to satisfy his own addictions. By the way, the man whose car Diddy blew up was Kid Cudi, and Cudi has now back Cassie's claims, confirming through his spokesperson that Diddy blew up his car in 2012. Cassie's lawsuit further described how she met Diddy in 2005 when she was just 19 years old and he was 37, and she alleges that Diddy held complete control of her personal and professional life, making it virtually impossible to escape. She then goes on to describe how throughout their relationship Diddy frequently beat her savagely, and while these beatings were witnessed by Diddy staff and employees of Bad Boy, no one dared to speak up against their frightening and ferocious boss. Diddy would also allegedly often remind Cassie that he can cause her serious harm, and he used illegal substances and threats to force her into repeated unwanted sexual encounters with male workers. According to Cassie, these men wore Mossad masks and took substances before they forced themselves on her. She claims Diddy called these arrangements freak-offs. Or false. Cassie also claims that over the years, she again and again tried to escape. However, every time she did, Diddy's vast network of corporations and affiliated entities found her threatening that if she didn't come back, she would never find work again. And when Cassie finally managed to escape and believed she was safe, Diddy essayed her in her home while she repeatedly said no and tried to push him away. According to Cassie, even though she's fully escaped Diddy and built a family with her husband, she's still dealing with the physical and mental consequences that Diddy's repeated attacks caused her, and she has required intensive medical and psychological care to recover from the trauma she lived through. However, Cassie stated that she can no longer live in silence about what she endured because Mr. Combs remain immensely powerful and immensely dangerous, and she seeks justice for that decade of her life that Mr. Combs took away from her. The lawsuit also mentions Diddy's late girlfriend Kim Porter, who died under mysterious circumstances in 2018, and Cassie recalls how Diddy pursued her. Even though he was publicly in a relationship with Kim, according to Cassie, everyone in Diddy's circle was too scared to confront him, and she was stunned and how easily he could get others to lie for him. She claims Diddy's employees would follow her everywhere, even at doctor's appointments, and he allegedly had police and doctors on his payroll. According to Cassie, on multiple occasions, Diddy had her personal medical records sent directly to his email address. She describes how she began experiencing memory loss, potentially due to excessive substance use and/or head injuries from Diddy's attacks, and her MRI results were provided directly to Mr. Combs. Another disturbing example is when early on in their relationship, Diddy asked Cassie what she called her grandfather, and when she said she called her Grandpa Pop, Diddy insisted that she referred to him with that nickname. Cassie describes many instances of physical abuse, including one incident that took place after a party with Jay-Z when Diddy beat her in an Escalade using his hands and feet. There's another incident that allegedly took place in 2009 when Cassie says Diddy became enraged after he saw her talking to a music executive at a party in Lahey, then dragged her out and stomped and kicked her in the face until she started vomiting until he saw how much damage he had done. Cassie says Diddy panicked and forced his staff to bring her to a hotel suite where she was required to stay for a week until marks on her face healed. According to Cassie, Diddy himself referred to their relationship as Bobby and Whitney and Ike and Tina. There are many more extremely disturbing details in Cassie's lawsuit where she describes her attempts to escape and Diddy's punishments, and she has all the receipts to back her claims. In fact, once you read her lawsuit in full, you'll wonder how Cassie even made it out alive. Now, part of the reason she was able to rebuild her life is because of her now husband, Alex Fine, who Diddy hired as a personal trainer. Or her. Cassie also mentioned the 2 children she shares with Alex in her lawsuit, saying she credits them with saving her from the trauma that had consumed over a decade of her life. Alex has now broken his silence on Cassie's lawsuit and showed his support by sharing a photo from their wedding day, alongside a heart emoji. As for Diddy, his lawyer Benjamin Brothman, the same man who defended Harvey Weinstein, issued a statement denying Cassie's allegations and claiming she's trying to extort Diddy for $30 million. However, other sources are now saying $30 million is actually the amount Diddy offered to Cassie in exchange for her silence after her alleged NDA expired. Either way, it's safe to say the only supporters Diddy has left are those who are on his payroll, and fans who read Cassie's lawsuit are saying jail is not punishment enough for what he did to her. One fan said, "No, because I really just read all 35 pages of this damn lawsuit, and man put Diddy under the jail." Meanwhile, fans are also praising Cassie's husband Alex for helping her overcome her trauma. One person wrote, "I understand now why Cassie's husband snayed the way he did in the past when anything out of Diddy's mouth was her name. Not no male ego, it was protective. But let us know in the comments if you think this lawsuit will be the end of Diddy, and don't forget to check out this next story.